Welcome back, and Lewis is still with us, and as we just pledged and promised, sounds like a politician talking, doesn't it? Anthony is here, and I was saying when I met him earlier that I thought that Anthony looked like your brother, and you said everybody says that. Do they?
They do, yeah. But he is my dad.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows.
Yeah, just so everyone knows. And in fact, Lewis was quoting the best advice you'd ever given him. What was the most important thing you were able to do in this career?
Well, I think really, you know, I tried to do my job as a parent really, and that was just to make sure that Lewis took full advantage of the opportunity that was presented to him. Because when you're, you know, when you're a young 13-year-old and you've been offered an opportunity to become a Formula One driver, possibly in the future, you know, it's difficult to take it all in and put it into context. And so really, my job was just to try and keep the family normal and try to keep Lewis normal and make sure that he did everything that was required of him to achieve his objective.
So it's not so much that training, the motor racing, that someone else takes care of that, it's looking after and protecting the man himself.
Yeah, I mean, Lewis is, to be honest, there hasn't been much training for Lewis as a racing driver. You know, the way it's worked is that just Lewis himself, as a person and his natural ability, has taken control of his desire to be the best at whatever he turns his hand to. It just so happens that he, you know, motor racing is the key.
So you're his #1 fan?
Well, I'd have to say my son Nicholas is the #1 fan, but I'm very close behind.
Yeah, yeah. And as you look ahead, that relationship's not going to change. It's just going to grow.
One would hope so. You know, we're a fairly close-knit family. We can't believe what's happened to us as a family, and so, you know, all we're going to try and do is grow it, nurture it, and try to make sure that we set a good example for others who were in our position many years ago who had a dream. And you know, it's really important, I think, to provide inspiration for others who think maybe one day I'd like to do something, and it doesn't matter what it is. You know, just hard work, dedication is the key.
Yeah, and you had a dream, in fact, didn't you? You're living your dream now.
I am. I mean, 22 years old, a Formula One driver, and competing with the best drivers in the world. I mean, this is something, as I said, I've been thinking about for many years, and something you would dream about. To actually be here and doing so well, it's you know, I'm very pleased to be there and appreciate the opportunity that's been given to me.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Sir David.
Anthony, very good. Have 2 members of the family here. We'll have even more of them next time. Thank you very much
Pleasure
indeed.
It was a pleasure.
This week saw the worst attack to take place in Iraq since the US security plan was implemented. Despite American assurances that the plan is working, over 200 people were killed in a single day. Images of the carnage on Wednesday left many wondering how much the plan is actually working. And here to discuss the continuing horror is MOHAMED ELMENSHAWY of TAQRIR, Washington. Welcome indeed, MOHAMED. I mean, the worst day of slaughter yet. Does this mean that the so-called surge just isn't working, or could this be the storm before the lull?
No, it is clear it is not working. Plan after plan imposed from Washington, and realities in Iraq is still way not recognized here in Washington within the American political elite. The surge is not working by the numbers we have. People said in the beginning insurgents focused outside Baghdad, and they answered yesterday, unfortunately, with these mass casualties we have witnessed. Americans still dealing with Iraq with ideal visions. They don't recognize the realities in the ground. They think if it's ethnic conflict between Shia and Sunni only, but they ignore the fact it's Shia conflict in the southern part of Iraq, and it's Kurdish Arab conflict in the north, and it's mix of everything in the middle of the country.
So that, I mean, in this situation, are both parties, or are the Sunnis trying to provoke a civil war? Is there a significant number of people who want a civil war?
I doubt a lot of people want civil war, but what we are noticing now, it's limited civil war with these numbers of 100 people killed on daily basis for last since February 2006 with destroying of the Golden Mosque in Samara. We have problem in Baghdad that's not recognized here. Americans, they have no real partners. The government of al-Maliki is very weak, especially after the withdrawal of the 6 members of the cabinet last week by al-Sadr, Muqtada Sadr faction. And if al-Maliki is not recognizing how weak is he, and he's making a statement after a statement promising they can control the situation in Baghdad and in Iraq, and they can, as the Iraqi government, can take over all the security measurement by Americans by end of the year. It's not taking him anywhere. He should be realistic and recognizing how weak is he now and how weak his government is.
But how long,
Americans.
How long would you say? Talking of these things, he's been talking about maybe handover by the end of the year. How long will it take for there to be a handover, complete handover by the US to the government of Iraq?
I doubt anyone can set a date for that. American presence in Iraq delegitimize the government. People in Iraq won't trust or have confidence in government that's supported by foreign occupation. And American presence there won't contribute to the stability of Iraq. We'll witness this bomb and this killing as long as Americans are there. And I believe American presence, as they are weakening the government. People will have no trust of governments that's supported by foreign occupation. People won't trust Iraqi police if he's walking in the street accompanied by American soldiers. As long as we have this presence of foreign occupation in Iraq, there is no solution. We will witness this killing day after day, and I doubt anybody can put a date or scenario for ending this conflict.
This killing every day and so on, I mean, who do the Iraqi people feel is to blame for this situation? I mean, there were insurgents, there are people wanting civil war and so on, but in the end, do they actually still blame the Americans or the Brits, even though it's obviously not Westerners doing the killing?
I was in Iraq just after the invasion in May 2003, and most Iraqis I met in the street of Baghdad and surrounding areas, they trusted American at that time, and they said they don't want anyone from Iraq to control the government and their living at that time, but they don't want American to stay long. And long was, they were talking at that time for weeks or a few months, and now it's been about 4 years. And they blame everyone. Average Iraqi citizens blame Americans, they blame their weak governments, they blame their religious faction, and people are blaming everyone for not providing security for their kids, for their families, and for their properties as well.
And do you think that in 5 years' time, Iraq will still be a single political entity?
I do believe so, because of the regional balance of power. Turkey won't allow northern Iraq to do anything, and it's not in the interest of Saudi Arabia or Jordan to have a Sunni state here or there. Neighboring countries will not allow Iraq to be several states as some people wish. Besides, most Iraqis, they are nationalists and they believe in their own country as mapped today.
Well, thank you very much for that review of the current situation in a traumatic week, Mohamed. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
After the news, and in the light of the Virginia Tech massacre, I'll be talking to that leading psychologist, Phil Zimbardo, the creator of the Stanford Prison Experiment, talking about death in America.